Tonight, a fall in suspected drugs deaths. Our efforts to tackle the problem finally making their mark. Good evening. It's plagued Scotland for decades, but is the tides on our country's drug deaths finally turning? Figures out today show a fall of 11% last year. Data from Police Scotland shows 1,065 people died of suspected drug misuse in 2024. We'll compare that to the previous year and it's 132 fewer lives lost. It's progress, but at the same time, alcohol deaths reached the highest level in more than 15 years. In the face of all this, much work continues to be done to tackle Scotland's addiction problems. Our reporter Amy Flett has been speaking to recovering addicts who sought help from an Edinburgh-based addiction charity and are now using their experience to help others.
I was in a bad way. I was suicidal, didn't want to be here, didn't want to live anymore. That's what cocaine did to me.
Derek had been addicted to cocaine for 25 years before contacting Hope House, a drug and alcohol recovery centre based in West Lothian. This week, he's celebrating 6 months of sobriety.
I struggled to sometimes get 6 hours, never mind six months. It was like a groundhog day, a life of groundhog misery, and difficult to just stop. I found steps to hope, and when I came in, I was really pretty broken, to be honest with you. It's definitely helped save my life. My family's got their son, brother, uncle, and my kids have got their dad back.
The rehabilitation centre run by Steps to Hope opened last year. It can house up to 10 people who all go through its 90-day recovery programme. Michelle was homeless and struggling with alcoholism before she sought help from the charity.
I've struggled with addiction. I would say the past 7 years of my life has been the most challenging, horrific time that I've had. I've been in and out of hospital. The flat that I was living in, it got taken over by sort of like a gang, if you would call it that, and I actually lost that flat, which caused me to become homeless in the first place. I think at that time my addiction did help me to cope. Like being sober now, I look back and I don't know how I survived it.
Since graduating from the programme, the charity was able to help Michelle secure accommodation.
I mean, I hate to think where I would be right now if I hadn't come to Hope House. It's like night and day, and I'm only on day 115. But to think even back to where I was then, like on the street, like skin and bone, like begging and stuff, and then to be in a flat and to be healthy, to be sober, to have my family back and still have amazing support.
Nicola, who is currently on the programme, travelled up from Newcastle after being encouraged by her mum.
I was at the point of seizures, which were very dangerous, so there was numerous hospital visits, and the last straw for myself was I had a stroke. And that was that really hit me differently. I'm 36 days now. I was a couple of days clean before I came in. Looking back, over a month ago, I never thought that would be possible. Today I'm sitting here now, loving life, enjoying waking up in the morning to see what the day brings and having a purpose.
Founder Richie set up Steps to Hope after struggling with addiction himself.
We're proud, of course we are, but we're driven, we're driven, and I think I'll never kind of stop and look at what we're doing right now. We need to move forward. With all the drug deaths, especially in Scotland, we absolutely need to keep driving forward and helping as many people as we can.
I'm Michelle, I'm an alcoholic. I'm 115 days.
Well done, Michelle.
Derek and Michelle are now both peer supporting those coming through the programme, where they hope to use their lived experience to help others struggling with addiction.
If you're in that place, there's definitely help, and it's worth it, worth putting the hard work in, and everybody's, as I said, everybody deserves a second chance.
Amy Flett, STV News, West Lothian.
Well, our political editor Colin Mackay has been looking at the drugs death figures. Colin, was this drop expected?
It was certainly hoped for, but 1,065 is still a lot. These are suspected drugs deaths from Police Scotland's figures, not the official national records of Scotland's ones, but they do show things going in the right direction. And this is only the second time in a decade that the year-on-year figures have shown a fall.
The figures that we have seen today demonstrate that there is progress being made. The 11% reduction, the lowest quarterly figures that we have seen for this time period, is welcome. But it's a cautious welcome that I give, because I recognise that for alcohol and drug-related deaths, they are still far too high. And for those family members who have lost a loved one, there will be no comfort in the fact that we're making progress. We need to make sure that we address this situation for the people of Scotland.
It was the 2021 STV election leaders debate when Nicola Sturgeon, then First Minister, admitted that she dropped the ball on this. There's been a lot more focus since then. Former Scottish Conservative leader Douglas Ross, who actually brought it up during that debate, was giving evidence to committee on today on his own right to addiction recovery bill. He said, how often do we get these figures say this is Scotland's shame and nothing ever changes? Well, in the last few months, the UK's first drug consumption room has opened in Glasgow in January. People who are running it say that it's already saving lives. Tomorrow, the First Minister will visit a rehab centre. He wants to show that things are changing. But Scotland's drugs death has long been the worst in Europe, double the rate of the rest of the UK. And it's too early to say, but hopefully these figures signal the start of a downward trend in drugs deaths.
All right, Colin, thank you very much.